The New York Knicks have some big time injuries that they need to work through before we can see the full strength of new head coach Mike Brown's scheme, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Knicks Basketball 365. If you're a New York Knicks fan, please hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, coming from Sports Illustrated, Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges continued pulling their weight, but the same could not be said for many of New York's top contributors as Karl-Anthony Towns continues attempting to play his way into a return to full strength. Mitchell Robinson's yet to suit up for the Knicks, with his troublesome left ankle keeping him from making his 8th season debut in New York. This is nothing out of the ordinary for the off-injured center, nor has the Knicks' caution otherwise noteworthy as they attempt to keep the shot blocker and rebounder ready for the postseason, but it's becoming growingly apparent that they need him back sooner rather than later. So it is no secret watching these New York Knicks games that over the last two especially, Karl-Anthony Towns is not playing at full strength. His shooting numbers have dipped drastically. Last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, felt like the dude was an absolute ghost. Wasn't on the basketball court at all. It felt like that. And it felt like when he was on the basketball court, he was committing dumb fouls and just getting himself in foul trouble, which he's kind of been known to do over the course of his career. But this New York Knicks team needs to be patient. Right now, we have no idea what the finished product is going to look like in new head coach Mike Brown's offense. Currently, he has said that he needs this New York Knicks offense to learn the basics of his scheme before they graduate into called plays. Now, I feel like over the summer they should have figured out the basics, but I understand game speed is different. And when you're playing at the NBA level with NBA level schemes and game plans, it's not easy to do. I mean, it's obviously not anything that I've ever experienced. So maybe I'm not giving the players enough credit, but it does seem like the guy should have already be able to run a couple plays, but the injuries for this team are certainly holding them back right now. Karl-Anthony Towns looked good for the New York Knicks last year, at least offensively. Defensively, I know he's not a great defensive big man. Offensively, he's great. He's fantastic all the time on offense. One of the best shooting big men of all time. I personally maintain that he is the number one shooting big man of all time, and a lot of people will back me up on that. But recently, this season, Karl-Anthony Towns just flat out has not been shooting the basketball well, but it's also the injury of Mitchell Robinson that is crushing the Knicks right now. Well, over the first 4 games of the season, the Knicks are doing a tremendous job of offensive rebounding with their number one offensive rebounding threat, Mitchell Robinson, not even on the floor. What Mitchell Robinson is going to bring to the table for the New York Knicks defense is going to be elite rim protection. Once his left ankle is deemed healthy enough to play, he's going to come back and Giannis is not going to be able to run and dunk on everyone that the New York Knicks have on defense right now, especially also paired with the Mitch injury, paired with the Gershon Yabusele injury. We're getting very, very shallow in the big man department. So that's why you see the Knicks recently been rolling out more smaller lineups. It's not by design, it's out of necessity. They don't really want to do that because when you're playing against the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they love rolling out the really tall lineups. They have Miles Turner, they have Bobby Portis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo that are all talented big men that are all very, very tall. They're all tall guys. So rolling out Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5, you're going to have a mismatch. Miles Turner is an elite rim protector, and he's an elite shot maker as well from the 3-point line. So that's a problem, especially when our guys are playing when they're not fully healthy. But I know the end of the game against the Milwaukee Bucks was extremely frustrating for Knicks fans to watch. It felt like we got stuck on 103 points for 4 hours. The Bucks were at 101, the Knicks were at 103, and then I believe the Bucks went on something like an 18-5 run where the New York Knicks just could not buy a bucket. I was calling for Mike Brown to call a play, and then I texted one of my friends, and he said, this team, they are not ready for play calling yet because Mike Brown is making sure he drills in the fundamentals of his offense, which means that the New York Knicks offensively, they need to learn the more basic parts of the scheme before they are running the fully called plays, which means this year we're watching Jalen Brunson. It's not just the Jalen Brunson show where he takes it and dribbles the ball for 14 seconds before anything happens. There's more movement. There's more picking. There's more attempts to get guys open for 3-pointers. And if you've noticed, the ball moves faster in this New York Knicks offense than it did with Tom Thibodeau. When Tom Thibodeau was the head coach of the New York Knicks, almost, or not almost every single year he was there, they were in the bottom 5 in pace. Thibodeau runs a really, really slow offense, and it helps with his grittiness. And this New York Knicks needs to learn how to graduate from the super slow Tom Thibodeau offenses to now the much faster Mike Brown. And what a lot of people are saying is currently this Knicks team looks like they're still coached by Tom Thibodeau, because the defense has been really, really good outside of the end of the fourth quarter where it felt like the Bucks were hitting everything. Last night against Milwaukee, they looked really, really good. The Knicks were able to They've been forcing a ton of turnovers, and offensively, they haven't been shooting well, but they've been able to bail themselves out by getting a ton of offensive rebounds and running up second chance points against their opponents. The Boston Celtics especially is where you saw the difference in second chance points, where the Knicks got a ton of rebounds, which put them in the opportunity to just go right back up for a dunk, go right back up for a layup, or the best shot to take off of any offensive rebound, you want to take a 3, kick it out to the outside, get that wide open 3. But Mike Brown, right now, the New York Knicks are frustrated, but I promise it does get better. There's a reason why Mike Brown is an ex-coach of the year. This guy's a great offensive mind. The offense is going to get a whole lot better. Maybe it comes at the price of the defense getting worse, but currently this defense looks almost as good as it looked under Tom Thibodeau. The New York Knicks, they're still playing with grit, and it's because the personnel is still all there. Jalen Brunson, not a good defender, but he fights. Josh Hart, great defender. And then the rest of the defense just need Mitch back, but that defense is going to fight. They're going to continue to force a ton of turnovers. What they do really well is they're always got their hands up, and they're always getting in the way of passing lanes, which is what is leading to so many turnovers being committed by teams facing the New York Knicks. But one of the biggest problems that we saw against the Milwaukee Bucks was not an injury, but Deuce McBride out for personal reasons. We need him back. We clearly need Deuce McBride back. His defense from the guard spot was sorely missed, especially and mostly on offense. His three-point making ability was something that the New York Knicks need to be able to find, because if we're having a game, Brunson can't do it by himself. If the Knicks are playing against a team that is like the Milwaukee Bucks, has very good players, they're going to score a ton of points. We have to make sure that we have enough shooting on the court to be able to match it. Landry Shamet, good shooter, but he doesn't bring enough offensively. His overall offensive game isn't good enough. He's a good shooter, but we need another shot creator as well. Kolek is really shown a lot of people stuff in his game that we were not expecting to see from him this early in the season, especially because with how bad the summer league was for him, he is really showing out that maybe Kolek is going to be a guy who can be a creator for others and someone who's going to hit his wide open threes, that's exactly what we need out of Tyler Kolek, but we also really, really need Deuce McBride back. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Knicks.